awaydaysbeer.com. Proud to partner with Talking Town. For only $14.99, grab your ITFC Legends Pack from The Beat to Hoppy Robson to Brazil's Best and Pablo's Pal. Whatever you need, whatever you want. ITFC Legends Pack, $14.99 at awaydaysbeer.com. Grab it today. Mass Creations are proud partners of Talking Town. High quality web and software development. From web development to SEO and everything in between, make your vision a reality with Mass Creations. Call 07896 904 571 or visit masscreations.co.uk or email info@masscreations.co.uk. Mass Creations, proud partners of Talking Town. Don't forget, tell them you came from Talking Town to get 10% off. Best Burger in Stone Market, proud partners of Talking Town. Call 01449 680 058 to book a table today.
Hello, good evening to Talking Town's transfer special. I know what you're thinking, something's not right. That's right, I'm not the Gov. He is sadly unwell, so myself and a few other people, including Crunch, shall be taking over for tonight. You may know me from Talking Town's Matchday Ticket on Tuesdays, and I also co-host the F1 Fan Show live on a Monday with Martin and Neil Moles. So you'll have to put up with us tonight, I am afraid. Don't forget, you can listen to this show on all good podcast platforms. And joining me as co-host tonight shall be the Cruncher as well, who I'm sure you're all familiar with.
Evening. How you doing, Steve? All right?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, good. We've got the keys. We've got the keys to the castle, mate. So
that's it. Do with it what we will.
You tonight.
Absolutely. Do what you want now.
I'm sure it'll go swimmingly, won't it? Nothing can go wrong. Mine's in the background anyway, so don't worry, everybody.
Yeah, he's not truly not here.
He's pulling the strings.
You're still watching over us like some kind of ill ninja.
Well.
No.
Anyway, so what do we think? Big week. We've had Mark Ashton. We've got new kit news, and obviously the first signing of the Paul Cook era.
Yeah, it seems to have gone a little bit quiet the past week, and then everything, or the past few weeks, and everything's come along all at once. Really, new signing, new kit, new CEO.
I thought it was really nice, Steve, because you've gone on social media the last 2 weeks. We've been linked to like probably about 2 or 3 players a day. And then Wes Burns has come along, pretty much no one sort of talked about him. I know Hawks, he was a big fan. He did say, I think Graham Brook, he was on his shopping list, but it's one that's really sort of gone under the radar. And if you look at him, you look at his career record, he's been about a bit, but he's worked with Ashton before when he was at Bristol City and Oxford. So I think that sort of link, I don't think this will be the first one where that link's going to come in, with Ashton, probably obviously with Cook, with players who he's had at sort of Wigan, Portsmouth. So, look, it's the first signing. It's a positive. Let's see what he can do on the pitch.
He sounds like just the kind of guy we're after because, like you say, there's all these other names you've had sort of hanging over social media the past few weeks. This guy is fairly recent and it's a done deal. So, looking at his stats, he seems like an exciting young player.
we'll see what we can do. Anyway, first one in. And we've got a special guest coming on tonight from Cod Vlogs. You've probably seen him. He's all over YouTube. It is Nappers, a.k.a. Ben.
How are we, lads?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm very well, lads. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Pleasure to have you. So, we seem to have got one of your guys today. So, what do we make of that? What are your thoughts on him?
I think it's a good signing for Ipswich. Wes is a player that I've always kind of liked. He's been frustrating to watch at times, but he's always been energetic. He's always, put a shift in wherever he's played. 190 appearances across 2 spells. He scored, 5 goals in his first 14 games as well on loan, which was huge for us because we were in a relegation dogfight under Stephen Presley. We stopped up. Then we signed him from Bristol City, I think, for a fee around £300,000, which was one of our joint highest records spent for a player. And then, again, his goals, 28 goals in 190 games doesn't look good, but he's played probably at least a third of those games at right wing back, and he's excellent. Now, you saw him in the last game of the season. You were all over us. And he run your defence absolutely ragged, didn't he? And he was, fast, versatile, quick, energetic. And Ipswich fans, if you don't win, you want the team putting on a good performance and a good showing. And I think Wes will give you that, and I think he'll fit straight in with the Ipswich faithful. I hope he does anyway.
I think that's the sort of mould that Cook's looking for, because obviously Cook came in, he gave all the players they had more than chances. He did say they weren't fit. I saw the goal he scored at Portman Road then, literally he run 60 yards, didn't he? Sort of went past our defence as though they weren't there, and then great finish in the corner. So look, I know you said he's not a massive goal scorer. Do you think, is that his predominant position as a wing back? Or I'll see he can play, I think he'll play on the right of a front three. That's where I see him fitting in with what Cook wants to go with.
Yeah, he will. And I prefer him as a front three, but Fleetwood, so when we had Uwe Rosa, he played in a back, Rosa wanted to play a back 5, sort of right wing back. Then Joey came in, and then it was a back 4, so he was playing as a right winger. And a lot of the times we had Louis Coyle on loan. So when he was either suspended or injured, Wes went to right back. So again, he played there, but I preferred him out on the right wing because if he doesn't score, he will create at least one chance every game. And in League One, if you've got a finisher like a striker, I know you've got Norwood, he's all right, but if you can get a 20-goal season striker and say Joe Piggott, Wes Burns will fit straight in because he'll put him on a plate for you. And I like him a lot. He'll make a lot of chances. He's fast, he's energetic, and he can knock the ball past the defender. He'll do the same skill move all the time, knock it past. And because he's so quick and clever with it, he'll always get past. Excellent footballer.
I think Steve, you look at his age, he's 26.
Yeah.
He signed a 3-year contract. I think he's the ideal age for what we're looking for. We did see, Ben, I was reading that there was rumours that Donatian was going to go the other way as part of the deal. That didn't happen. Obviously, you had Janoi at yours. Would you take him?
Depends who the other options are, mate, if I'm honest with you. Janai Donatian's all right if you want to finish about 14th in the league. He's don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but if you want to, mid-table in League One, which I think Fleetwood will be happy with this season, he's good for that. He's solid, defensively good. He's got a bit of power going forward as well. He's quite quick. So I'd have him, don't get me wrong, but if there's better out there, I'd have a look and don't rush into anything. But he's got 12 months left on his contract at Ipswich. Obviously, same happened for him as it happened for Wes. It was kind of a contract extension. He triggered his deal. But I'd have him if there was no one left. He's not that bad.
He seems to, from what I've seen of Donatian, because I was quite surprised that he didn't, obviously you don't know what's in the background, but he didn't sort of go across as part of a deal today. But he's solid a lot of the time. He's unspectacular. He just sort of turns up, does a quiet job. Whereas I think we've been lacking players who are sort of more flamboyant at town. I mean, top scorer last year was Norwood on 6 goals, 7 goals?
I think he got 10 in the end, didn't he?
Oh, no, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he got 10 in all competitions. But
sorry, yes, he did little figures. Yeah.
Look, Donatian's he's your 6 out of 10 every week, isn't he, Ben? He's not spectacular, but he's not a like-for-like replacement for Burns, is he? Obviously, because if he's playing wing back. But look, I'm happy with Wes Burns. You say 190 appearances, 45 subs, 28 goals. So he's a hard worker, isn't he? You've obviously seen. I've seen him play, and what I've seen, I've been impressed with him. So you know, obviously more about him than we do. So look, it's a positive. I think it's a positive signing.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for you. I really do, and I wish him all the best. I think if you give him chances playing further forward, stick with him. He will add goals. Maybe not as many as he should put away, but under a Paul Cork, you never know, because he will just let him leash.
That's good. I think we do need players like that who can just get up front and have a go anyway. I think that's something we have missed certainly the past couple of years. So he'll certainly offer us something, and I can't wait to see him and see what he can do.
He's not played for the full Welsh team, has he? I think is he under 21 international?
I think so, mate. Yes, but again, even so, he's done a good job. He's got a lot of experience in him for a 26-year-old. You know, nearly 200 appearances in League One. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's 4 full seasons in League One. So you know, you've got a player there and that's what I think Ipswich have missed in the last few years. They've maybe tried to go and get a Championship player or an oldie Premier League player like you did with Ward. This time he's gone for a player that knows the division inside out. He's been down the bottom the last 2 seasons, and he's had 2 playoff campaigns as well, and a mid-table campaign. So he knows exactly what it is to try and get out of League One as well.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Ben, because obviously a lot of the talk saying that Cook wants to look for Championship players, but I think he needs to cherry pick the best players in League One, because you mentioned Joe Pigott. There's links with Charlie White. To get a player to drop down from the Championship, I think it might be it's a big ask, isn't it? You've got to sort of sell them that vision of, look, we're going to be in this league for 1 season, we want to get out. Whereas if you go for like a Wes Burns, no disrespect to you, but it's a step up for him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Ipswich are still a big club, you know, and it's a pleasure to go there. And, you know, they're still, you know, fairly, if you think about it, the 2 seasons in League One, I've not really noticed he's been there for much, because the first season he got curtailed and went on an awful run, and the second season, again, got a new manager, and the team was just, you know, horrific really towards the back end. And I think now you've got a proper manager in charge. I think it's now time to kick on, and finally, 2 years too late, new ownership's coming in and you're getting the right players in. But like I say, I think Sunderland have gone too far. The Ipswich have changed everything at the right moment, and Wes Burns could be the first step in the right direction for Town.
But if you look at the league next season, Ben, you look at the teams in it, I know we're going to be hopefully at the top end, but it's going to be a dogfight to get out, isn't it? You've got ex-Premier League teams. How do you think you'll do next season? I know we were talking before and you said you've only got, I think you've got 11 players at the minute.
Yes, 11 players, including 3 goalkeepers. So yeah, that should be good. Like I say, I was scrolling through Twitter, and Gab Sutton, a journalist, was saying he thinks 14 or 15 teams would get into the top 6. I agree with that. And Ipswich are going to be up there. You know, you've got your Wiggins, how are they going to do? Bolton's, you know, Sunderland's, Portsmouth, for example. I think Shrewsbury could have a good run this year. But Fleetwood, I reckon mid-table, mate. You know, lower mid-table. If we get higher, you know, in the top 12, we'll be absolutely over the moon. But like I say, it all depends on the transfer business. And, you know, yeah, we've only got 11 players in, but it's the 3rd of June today. We've got about a month and about 5 weeks until pre-season starts, about 8 weeks until, you know, the league season starts. So I'm not worrying yet. I think it's we've had our clear out, like you've had your clear out, and we've wanted it for a while, so we can't really know now. We've got very little players so far. The window's not even officially open yet.
You think Grayson's a decent manager for this level? I know he's not. He doesn't set the pulse racing, Simon Grayson, but you know what you're going to get with him, don't you?
Solid.
Yeah, it's like going to Tesco and getting an ham and cheese butty, going and getting a bag of ready salted crisps and getting a Coke. You know what I mean? It's very boring, but you know what you're going to get. You know, it's the same. But again, he's tried and trusted in this division. And you look at his last few jobs. Sunderland is a basket case club. It is. Bradford again was struggling at the time, ownership-wise, and the fans weren't wanting to be there. And then you look at Blackpool, first season back, high expectations. His recruitment was poor, I will say that. So you've got to say the last 3 clubs you may give him a little bit of leeway with. But again, at Fleetwood, he'll have a little bit more, you know, spending power. He's got a good ownership behind him. No, there's no real pressure on him. Obviously, there is to, you know, thrive towards the top 10, top 12. But, you know, if he can do that, be over the moon, mate. And, you know, I'm not going to say Grayson out or Grayson in yet. I'm willing to give him a year in charge and see how he does and then rebuild again. And can we go better next year? I think it's a 3-year plan.
I was a bit disappointed when Joey Barton left yours because I thought he's a good up and coming coach. I thought he's doing a really good job at yours, wasn't he? What went wrong there?
What didn't go wrong, mate? Again, I love him, but again, he's Joey Barton. He's a nice nutter. You know, he's a good. But some of the things that he said, I think he said something about Ipswich before you beat us 1-0, didn't he? When you first played us, and again, it's just like. He just loses us games before Blackpool. Oh, we're a bigger and better club. They beat us 3-1. You know, before Sunderland, after the Sunderland game. Oh, I did like the
Sunderland. I did like that interview after the Sunderland game.
Honestly, I love that because the Sunderland fans' tears, I just love. But sometimes when you look back and you think, "Oh God, please don't do this," because you know what's going to come. And in the playoffs, he did a very good job. I'm not going to say that. He changed a lot and. Joey is one. If you gave him a day to think about, if you gave him an hour to think about football, I guarantee there's no one better at football brain. But if you give him a week or a month, or never mind 4 months in lockdown to think about a team to play Wickham, that's where we struggled. And he overthought and he made a lot of mistakes in those playoff games. And there was a few player mistakes in there, don't get me wrong. But again, I then fell out with Ched Evans last year about the spin the wheel stuff and then fell out with the goalkeeper, fell out with the owner, and we are where we are today. And I would let Joey go at the end of the season. But I was disappointed that he went in January instead of May because I thought we would have had a better end of the season. We're only 4 points off the playoffs, and we were 4 unbeaten when he got sacked. So it came to a surprise to me. And those 4 were against Portsmouth. And I think we played Crewe in that one as well. So we weren't playing, bad teams.
But it's a bit... I think, like you say, you were only 4 off the play. The league was poor last season, wasn't it? I think it'll be a lot stronger. It's going to be a lot stronger this year. Do you want to, before you go, Ben, do you want to give a plug to your YouTube channel where people can find you?
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, I run a Fleetwood channel, but mainly on League One now, covering all the League One news and my League One reaction to stuff. So if you fancy on giving it a subscription, it's CODS Vlogs, CODS Vlogs VLOGS. If you fancy giving me a subscription, that'd be massively appreciated. And thank you for having me on, guys. And
what about the third tier? Are you on the third tier pod as well?
Yeah, I'm on the third tier. That's a League One podcast that I co-host on. And hopefully get you back on again this year, talk about it. Hopefully a little bit more chirpier this time than talking about all these 0-0 draws that you had last year.
Yeah, it wasn't very exciting, was it, Steve, last year?
That was, that wasn't what I wanted at all. Not anyone wanted at all. Well, thank you very much, Ben. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, mate.
See you soon. You too. Have a good season. Cheers. Right, I think we should bring in our next guest. It's not guest really. It's the resident king.
Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Just butt me already. I need that money in heavy. I'm banging these raps like Pompey with Shelly. Shell it, daddy, I'm dipping. I said that I'd leave, but I'm back in the kitchen. She pour it, back it, I'm sipping. Feeling away, but she tackling feelings. Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Butt me, I'm ready. I need that money in heavy. Banging these raps like Pompey with Shelly. Shell it, daddy, I'm dipping. Said that I'd leave, but I'm back in the kitchen. She pour it, back it, I'm sipping. Feeling away, but she tackling feelings. I hit it in scurrying, gassed it. She calls it childish, I call it tactics. White doors on a coupe, but I wrapped it. Got a next one, remapped it, rapid.
Oh, yeah, I love that little graphic. Yeah. All over the green shoots. Love that.
In the know, Kally.
Don't know about that, mate. How we doing?
So that shirt you've got on there, is that the 1920?
No, this is the new Ipswich top. It's the brand new one. Look, it's white. It's got white piping. It's blue. It's got an Ed Sheeran tour on there.
Very nice. We'll touch on the shirt in a little bit, but that doesn't look a lot different than the new one.
Well, this one's got the little chevron things or whatever, but the new one's got, I think, very faint,
very nice stripes.
Have you seen Ed's Instagram, boys?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
He's dropped the picture. So there's a picture. You know the picture, Steve, when he's about 8 years old in the town kit.
Wearing the shirt.
He's exactly the same now, and he's got the new shirt on with the same face. It's brilliant. Anyway, what do you think to Wes Burns, Kally?
Yes.
Yeah. Good signing.
It's the sort of signing we want, isn't
it? I'm glad sorry, I forget the guy's name. He was just on the Fleetwood lad, Ben. But I'm glad he raised the thing about he hasn't been played as a striker, because when you look at the stats and you think we signed a striker,
No.
He's not scored 10 goals any season.
Yeah, I did see that.
So then you're like, okay, but then you do a bit more digging and everything, and you realise actually he's been played more as a wing back or winger. He's there more as a creative
when he
player.
last played up front, Kally. Do you know when he last played as a striker?
I couldn't tell you.
He's not at Fleetwood. He hasn't. He's been about. Look, he's had Bristol City, Forest Green, Oxford, Cheltenham, Aberdeen. So he's,
he seems to. But the thing is, it's something that we've been saying all last season. What was wrong is this looks like a lad, and if you remember the last game of the season, this looks like a lad that will run at players and will want to turn them.
Absolutely.
And if you got a right striker, Norwood scored 10 goals with no service. If Norwood's still the striker, right, or there's another striker coming in anyway, and you've got that service as well on one side, then it'll look good. My career, it'd be interesting to see whether he sees him as a right wing back, or if he's going to play the 3 and play him as a right winger. Because if he's a right back, then what does that say about Kane? Is Kane back up? Is Kane go in? Or it's exciting times, guys. Exciting times.
I have no idea what's happening. I'd like to see him as a right winger. Maybe if they're keeping Guillon, shifting Guillon over to the left, because I know that's his sort of normal, his preferred position. So Guillon on the left. If you've got Wes Burns on the right, you might have some better service if Norwood, like you say, if he is still the striker come the start of the season.
He's got that versatility, though. I think you can both of you. He's got that versatility where he can. I think he will play on the right of the 3. But look, Vincent Young, he can't stay fit. We really hope that we have a fit Kane all season, don't we? Because you think you get them 2 down the right hand side, they can sort of interchange, Kally. Kane can go past him and he can drop in, and
that's where I think the thing that's been so impressive so far has been the backroom is in place, more or less, right? He needs an assistant, but the backroom is in place to the point we've got a sports science department now. Like, what the fuck? It's not Leo Neal running around with a little plaster or a first aid kit. We've actually got a sports science department.
We're like adults now.
Yeah, so in Mark Ashton's, it's Mark, isn't it?
Oh.
In his first interview, he said that Leo Neal is going to still remain a part of the football club as long, we're goals are going to, they've got specific goals, they're driven, if they can buy into that. So someone's got to make a cup of tea, I guess. So,
That's what he's good for now for the past few years. Should we bring in Colin as well?
Let's get the 4th. Let's get the goat in.
Yes.
Colin,
Evening.
Richard, Kally, Steve, how are we? All right?
Very well, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks, Steve. Yeah, fine.
Good man. What do you make of Wes Burns?
Yeah. Mildly excited. Let's put it that way.
No, he's a little bit more excited than Kally.
I wasn't I wasn't underwhelmed by it. Let's put it that way. No, I think that's a good sign. And I read up a little bit about him. I was saying to Rich earlier on, and he sounds a good lad. And seeing the clips and everything, I mean, he did basically more or less take our left side to the cleaners in the last game of the season. So. Yeah, I think he's a good age. I think he's got a good pedigree, and everything's good. Like Rich quite rightly said, I'm excited by the fact of him being on that same side as KBY. As long as KBY can keep fit, but sounds good. Sounds good, Kally. Yeah, and Rich, Steve. Yeah, brilliant.
It's just nice because there's a couple of things. A couple of people said it on Twitter as well, but. It's nice because you're hearing the Fleetwood fans disappointed that this player's gone.
Yeah.
He's a wanted player like that. We've parted with some money. I think transfer market got his value down about 250, so we've probably parted with mid 5 figures or whatever, 6 figures even, whatever. So it's just like, okay, we've got a player here. We've got someone. Is he 26? I think.
25, yeah, he's 26.
Yeah.
He's 26. I read. I think it's on TWTD. They've Cov City put a contract to him as well, and we rejected Cov City and another Championship club as well. So there's obviously a project that has been sold, and I think this is a player that he like we said before, Cook and everyone and the owners and everything aren't they going to buy 11 players and then buy another 11 players next year? They're looking at some of these players they can build around, and then will be a core in the Championship to make you a steady championship team or whatever. This player, if he plays in the right system and Cook's got his way and Cook wants you to play brave and everything, he could be a big player for us. Or my only fear is, and I'm sorry I have to put the negativity on it, it's an Ipswich Town show. It wouldn't be an Ipswich show without a bit of negativity. He could become a Gwion Edwards, who looked brilliant on his first day and then never did anything.
I think sorry,
I think like if we listen to Ben there, I think we've got a player here who's going to be running in the 5th minute and he can run in the 95th minute, you know, and this is what we need. We need that energy because we've all seen so many times last season, first 20 minutes, we started like house on fire, and that was it. We went flat.
Never mind season. Listen, go back the last 2 seasons. Every season since Lambert's been here, maybe even Hurst. Since Lambert's been here, can you recall Ipswich Town ever competing first to 90th minute?
No.
We play for 45 to 60 minutes max, and that's been our biggest downfall over the last 3 years. And that's what Cook said when he come in. And I think Hurst said the same thing. The players ain't fit or something's not happening in terms of, because we ain't got a sports science department. Now we've got football people. This is mad. I love it.
Yeah, now we've got the back room sorted. We've got some good people coming in. We've actually got, it feels like a more sort of, it almost feels like a more grown up, mature club now because the back room is all sorted, and they've put this emphasis on strength and fitness and fighting. It feels like we can actually play now for a full 90 minutes. Hopefully KVY can stay fit. Hopefully Norwood can stay fit. You know, those sort of people have been missing, sort of firing on all cylinders.
I think that's the thing. So those 2 people there who've had like obviously niggling injuries, I think you know, touch wood, that you won't see any injuries from them like that, like major injuries, because they're going to have the right people about, you know, this is how you recover from it. This is what you need to do. Take this time off. Take this thing. I'm excited. We've got a proper football club. The background's coming there. Now we're getting signings. I keep thinking, pinch me, I'm gonna wake up, man, and Mark Seven's still owner. But no, it's happening.
Kelly, I don't think, and Colin and Steve, I don't think if you turn up to training the end of June, I think we're back. First 2 weeks, leave the footballs alone, lads, because I think you are going to be running your arses off. One thing we will be next season, we are going to be fit.
Yeah.
We've got someone else waiting. So,
sorry, Steve. Can I just come in there a sec? I'm in total agreement with Kally, and I'm totally in agreement with you, Steve. And I think Rich has gone over this as well. The infrastructure, that's the word, the infrastructure, this football club right now is as good as it's been in a long while. And I'll tell you, that's what's exciting me at the moment more than anything else, apart from like Ed and his sponsorship and all this, that and the other. And the owners who are absolutely fantastic. They've come across fantastic. Mark Ashton's come across fantastic. But we're getting the pieces of the jigsaw in the right places. And that is exactly what's exciting me big time. And I also think that Mark Ashton, okay, we've heard him and seen him for a couple of days, but I really do believe, because I really do believe that this bloke's going to get this football club on the up, and I really believe that.
Did you not clock? Sorry,
I've got a better beard than you, Kally. Mark Ashton's got a better beard than you.
Behave. Listen, I trim my beard all the time. If he wants to go beard wars, he's from the Black Country. That's what I liked hearing. I'm hearing more similar accents. I hear Michael Leary's than I heard his.
He was at West Brom for 15 years, wasn't he?
Yeah, I love it, mate. You know, we need more people from the Black Country. I love it. Yam.
Oi, Rick, I was celebrating up clock end. I bet he weren't.
Who we got coming in, Steve? We got someone coming in.
We have got Mark Dowling coming in.
All the way from Ireland.
Hello, sorry. I'm time no see.
Look at that beard, Mark. That's a better beard than yours.
That's it. That is still my COVID beard that I'm undecided about. All the girls hate it, so I'll keep it for another while.
How's Ireland? How are you getting on over there? Pub's open, yeah?
When we had a good win today against the mighty Andorra, Troy Parrott scored a couple. So yeah, he was on form. But it wouldn't surprise me. It was crap to watch, boring, the usual. It was like watching Ipswich. But it was what it was. At least it's a win. It's a win. We haven't won in a while. So unfortunately, we're not going to be at the Euro, so we'll cheer on Scotland or something. We'll see.
Come on.
I know. I'll be honest with you. I was looking at the Euros. if England are to win it, all they have to do is beat France. France are the best team there. If England can beat them, they'll win the Euros. I can't see else, to be honest with you. But that's another.
We're going to Euros chat later, won't we? What do you think of What do you think of the new signings? What do you think of Mark Ashton? What do you?
I've been watching. I've been busy in work, but I've been catching up every night. Mark Ashton seems to be a good guy. The new signing, I never heard of him before in my life, to be honest with you. But listen, he came in. He's good. He's a good addition. I'd like to see a few more of the lads leaving, if I'm honest with you. I was a bit surprised with the shirt announcement today that as I call them, the three amigos were still in their jerseys. Like,
that don't mean nothing. Waghorn was in one before.
No, he did. He was. Yeah, that means something. Correct. I just at the moment, the next few days, hopefully we get a few signings in. I was expecting more people to leave than, should we say, our best players. Like our player of the year left, our captain left.
Players who've had no news on, I would expect to have heard about. Maybe someone like Jackson, for example, I would have expected to have heard more news, whether he's staying or going.
Don't forget, transfer window doesn't officially open until 1st of July.
I know it's still earlier.
Lots of stuff. Mark Ashton is just
9th of June, Kelly.
Is it 9th of June?
Yeah, 9th of June.
It's 1st of July.
No, it's the 9th of June.
Oh, shit. Fucking changing everything, mate. Who just 9th of June? Just put it at the end of the month.
I think now, Mark, with Mark Ashton in the building, I think things are going to start to happen. I think this is the first part of the jigsaw, isn't it? And I think there's going to be a lot of comings and goings.
It seems to be that after building a great, backroom staff, and seems as if everyone else has come in, bar the players. So yeah, it's fantastic. It is. It's looking really good. I'm excited. I wonder what our starting 11's going to be like in the first game of the season. I hope it's changed considerably.
You'll see a lot more signings. It's like a domino effect now. You'll see.
I wouldn't be necessarily worried.
I don't know how reliable this is, but I heard that Burns wasn't the only player at the training ground today, so there may be another signing being announced in the next couple of days. That could just be complete bullshit or whatever, but the person I heard it from is trusted, and he heard it from someone, or she heard it, or they heard it.
And go on, spill the beans. Who was that player?
There we go. It's in the
I'm not saying anything.
Telling us that stuff and then saying that name dropping.
Throw it out there. Just drop it out there, Kally.
All I'll say is David Alaba hasn't signed his contract for Bayern Munich. So you never know.
I think now Mark Ashton's here, definitely we're going to see like an influx of players. And like we were saying earlier, Crunch, he's obviously got those ties with Bristol. You're going to see some Bristol ties there, and you're probably going to see the likes of Wigan and Portsmouth and that sort of thing. Sort of all. I mean, we've been linked to so many players anyway.
Bristol City had released quite a few players, hadn't they, Steve? And there was obviously you're going to get your links.
We spend the money. We don't need to look at just free transfers. We got dough, bro. We're making it rain. Come on, man.
It's unusual. When we said we signed WES for an undisclosed fee, I'm not used to seeing the word fee in there. Usually it's free or loan.
Yeah. But I think it'll be like when I was talking to Ben Kally earlier, and I know we want a few championship players. I think it might be a little bit much to expect. We might get a couple, but to expect them players to drop down a division. I know Stephen Parry, he wanted Nick Powell, didn't he, from Stoke. I think you're going to struggle to get that calibre of a player here at the minute.
Yeah. And that's the wages as well, though. That's the wages as well.
Because I think we can cherry pick them. We can cherry pick them top end championship players. I think obviously Charlie White. There's a link to him. Would we all take him?
Yeah, I think so. He's only done it once, though. He's only done it once, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. This is one season, and a fit Norwood. What's the difference between him and White?
Yeah. I'd actually like to go down the route
season thinking Norwood will stay fit with the right department behind him. I think we'll get the best. Might get 35 games out of him.
Jury's out for me on him, Kally. You've changed your tune. You're flip flopping, mate.
Mate, 180. Cole Scoot.
Where's Lee Anderson? Where is he? Where are you, Lee? Come on. Get yourself in the chat.
I've joined his club, mate. I've joined his club.
I'd actually like if they went out and bought the best players in League One. The likes of Man City and Leeds did there a few times. They went down. They bought the best players in League One just to get them up, get the push. And I think that we should be probably going for that more than trying to entice the championship players down.
Yeah,
But
definitely. The thing with Wes Burns, he's got so much League One experience as well. That's what's going to help us no end. He's been at so many clubs.
But like we said, he turned down championship moves. So what I'm saying is there's people there that are championship caliber that they've got a project. Mark Ashton and the whole team. You've got the proper infrastructure at the top. You've got the right coaching and everything there.
Lee said he's converted you. Lee said he's converted you. You're a smart lad, Kally. He's calling you now. He didn't call you that earlier in the back end of last season, did he?
Listen, it's all love between me and Lee. But yeah, no, the point being is, I think there's a project that can be sold to some of these players. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some championship caliber players come down. I'm not expecting. I agree with you in terms of people like Nick Powell at your clubs at Stoke, where they're probably getting 25, 35k a week. That's out of our budget.
But then did you see how much they lost, Kally? 90 million.
Yeah,
and you think, are they going to look to move some of them big earners on? Because I think nowadays with COVID about, these players are not going to get the money that they were getting pre-COVID. I don't think nowadays. You're going to have to lower your expectations.
I don't think.
Who was the Middlesbrough player who was linked to us? The midfielder.
Sam Morsey.
Morsey, yeah. You know, when I think, it was probably him at the training ground today. The Kally just wouldn't say his name.
I don't know.
He was his captain at Wigan. He was his captain at Wigan, Mark. So you're probably going to go down that road, and you're going to have some players from I think the East England. You looked the other day; they done a piece of players who had Cook had at Wigan. I think there was Dunkley. He's at Sheffield Wednesday. What about you, Colin? Who are you expecting? Any names?
Reece James was at Wigan with him. Reece James was at Wigan at him, and Mark Ashton's got a Chelsea.
He's not getting
Who would I like to see come in? Personally, God almighty. I'd love to see him get Wyke, if I'm honest, from Sunderland. I would love to get. Where do we? Sorry.
Who would you go if you had to pick, guys, between Charlie Wyke and Piggott from Wimbledon? Who would you go for?
Piggott.
I'll go Piggott.
Piggott. Only because the man has only done it one season.
Spot on. Exactly that.
Yeah, it's a hard one. How old is? I probably wouldn't mind White, but Piggott. I wouldn't mind either, Rich, if I'm honest, because at the end of the day, they're for goal scorers, they're better than we've got right now. That's got to be said because that's true.
What came to my mind today watching the Irish game? Ronan Curtis,
good player. I mentioned I mentioned him before, Mark, because I think I'd see Portsmouth might try and move him on. I've always been surprised that he's not played at the Championship. It'd be someone I'll be trying to sort of sell that vision. Right, one season, you're going to be in the Championship. I think he'd be an excellent signing. Good player.
I think he's a good League One player, maybe bottom end Championship player. But he looked, again, it was against Andorra, so you can't really think much. But he looked all right, It's
a win. Anyway, Lee Anderson did say in the chat, Mark, you'll only be supporting Scotland for the first week, so get yourself behind England. Come on.
No, honestly, I'm going to be picking. I do think England have a chance. I will support probably France, just to annoy you a lot, and we'll see.
Vive la France!
Vive la France!
France are going to win it.
It'll be hard to get a French jersey or something like that. We'll see. We'll try to see what I can do during the tournament. I'll have to get a few shirts, maybe. Come on.
When's the pubs? Are the pubs open over there now?
No. On Monday they have outdoor dining and stuff like that. The pubs won't be open maybe until the middle of July. So I haven't had a drink in a pub since last August, I think.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah. Of course, I've had a drink, but I haven't been in a pub. We haven't been in a pub or restaurant since last August. Yeah, crazy.
There you go. Right, thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate having you on.
Thank you, mate.
Guys, be good.
Take care of yourself. Right,
stand by your beds. Stand by your beds.
Bring in the fisherman.
Yeah, look out! Here he comes.
Hey,
evening.
Hey!
You're older, Mike. You're looking a year older.
I've just got back from Yarmouth, boys. I've been up there all day with the family, and my son wore his Ipswich shirt, and we called it McDonald's, and he got hurled of a load of abuse from a load of lads, and an Audi. I thought, that was great. Someone will say what they said, but there we are. It's kids for you.
It's a brave move. As someone who lives in Norfolk and around Norwich, I don't often tend to wear my Ipswich shirt outside. Not right now, anyways, just because of the abuse.
Do you know what? I'm regretting not wearing mine. I should have just worn mine because I got no fear. What's the point? You can be scared of nothing, really, if it's any football.
What's your thoughts then, Mike? Mark Ashton first.
Yeah, I know he's got a bit of there's a few Bristol City fans probably have sour grapes, but, you know, he's a football man. He knows his stuff. I think, look, let's be honest, can't be worse than what we've already had, can it, really? But, you know, but already got a good signing, nice age, nice player. You know, if KVY is injured, he can fill that right back role. If he's not, he can fill that right wing role, give us a bit of potency on the right. I've been thinking, you know, I mean, we've got to be excited. The fact is, like Steve said, you know, when we used to see our signings, it was like free or loan. This one says fee, you know, and that's quite nice to see. You know, we've got a fee. We spent money to get this player in. I'd like to get. I'm going to give a shout to Josh Russells from Oxford. I'd like to see him come in. He's a left back.
Scored a few goals, didn't he?
He scored good 6 goals this season, 6 assists.
Good player.
You know, I'd like to see us go for him, or you know, and even go for Brennan Johnson from Lincoln. You know, they're out of the place.
He'll be playing for Forest.
Yeah, or another championship club. He won't.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, if we go championship next season, we may be able to get something next season as a loan or something. But no, he's not a League One player next year. I can't see it. He's a championship player. He's a championship player. If Forest don't take him,
what if we did get him? You know, I mean, you know,
I think Mike, that was part of his education. He's proved that he can do it in this league. He's had a really good season. I think Forest have I think Amiobi's gone. They've let 2 or 3 players. I would expect him next season he'd be playing in their first team.
What does he benefit? What does he benefit in another season in League One? He went to Wembley in the final with Lincoln, right? He's got great numbers and everything. He's done this league. You know, it's like that Jay from In Between has completed it, mate. Right? No, well, not without the win, but he just needs to do championship now. What is he? He's 21, is he?
Yeah.
So he wants to start kicking on. Right, and you know, establish himself. But anyway, not enough about him.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean that Ruffles from Oxford. I'd like to see him. He's a great little left back. He's you know, he's been a player that I sort of kept watching him on and off as a left back. But you know, he can play left wing as well, so he can give us a bit of oomph up. Our Bear Kenlock was still playing for us. But I'm going to be a little bit negative. I'm a little bit disappointed we've kept the likes of Drinnan. I just
of all the players we released, that was the biggest shock for me. I thought he'd be one of the first names out.
He's a development player. He's not going to be in your first team squad. Just forget Drinnan. Forget Drinnan. Otherwise the Gov is going to shut this show down remotely.
Look at the positives. Let's talk about Mark Ashton. What did you take from the Mark Ashton interview and Mike? Because I thought, wasn't it nice that he's moved? He's got a house already. He's 5 minutes away from the training ground, and you take away from that, and he wasn't. I don't know if he was having a go at Evans, but he basically said you can't run a football club part time. Evans was there a couple of days a week. This is a 7-day-a-week job to do. You know, you can't. We've been cutting corners. It was interesting when he said about next season they want to get a Deso pitch. I've been doing a little bit digging, so it's between about $500,000 and $1 million to get it. It should last for 15 years. They inject 20 centimetre deep artificial fibres into the turf. So it's got a 15-year guarantee. You're going to get undersoil heating. I've obviously worked in turf industry, and I look at that pitch down there. They've been cutting corners on maintaining it, and you're thinking, I know the Gov says, oh, don't worry about the pitch, but it's like Mark Ashton said, when you buy a house, you've got to put a roof on it, haven't you? Mm. So we need a decent surface to play on, and we keep putting that tent up on all the time, you know, to blow the hot air in. What a fucking backward way that is, you know. You get your undersoil heating in, turn it on, bingo, away we go.
I've been saying it for years. You know, the thing is like you said, I thought his interview was spot on. I like the fact he's moved right. You know, he's bought a house right close to the ground. You know, he's on it. He seems really focused. I don't think the American owners would have took him on if he weren't going to be in for the full, you know, for the full 7 days a week type thing. You know, I think a guy like Mark Ashton is in it. You know, he's going to be there near enough every day.
Not just Mark though. Not just Mark, because like Crunch said, his quote was you can't run a club remotely, right? No. But when you know when his other ones come in, the is like number 2 and that one come in. He's basically said, you know, these guys don't have holidays, they don't have Saturdays off or whatever. They're here 24/7, 365. So he is like, we are all in this club. And it is like, you know, the pitch thing. I think someone put to him, I think it was one of the ITFC media guys, put to him saying, you know, previously it's been quoted that that's a 7-figure thing, like you know, so close to $1 million to get it done. They didn't bat an eyelid at that. He did that. What you said, he talked about, you know, the roof. And it's mad because, you know, 20 years ago in 2001, in our first season back in the Premier League, our groundsman won best pitch of the year.
And we always used to have a really good pitch.
Look at it
and
now.
another thing is when he was on about like looking after stuff around the stadium. You watched that interview with him. I think he sitting in the Sir Alf Ramsey stand.
Yeah.
You look at the seats around him at the back. Look how rusted they are underneath.
Never mind that. Look at the fucking bench that the players and the staff sit on. It's the same fucking plastic shit.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a bus shelter. It's a bus shelter that you see. It's shit, man. It's a.
Yeah,
you're right.
You know, like I just liked his vibe. I liked everything about his interview. I liked everything that he said he wanted to do, and he wants to, you know, and how he wants to, and how he saw the club. And you're right, Rich. He did have it. I'm sorry, but I think he did have a dig at Evans. And rightly so, because, you know, turning up at a training ground once a week, or the ground, or the you know, or maybe once every 2 weeks is not a way to run a club. You know, we've
well, it's the people he's put in charge as well, Mike.
Absolutely.
Look, Lee O'Neill. Look, he's got a lot of stick on it, but it's not his fault. He didn't have a big enough personality to run a football club. That's another take. Ashton's got that personality. When you hear him talk, you know, he comes across really well. You know, and you think Lee O'Neill. He was a mouthpiece, wasn't he? You got Milne. Who did we have before that? Colin, Ian Milne.
Yeah, Clegg before that.
Clegg. Not got a clue how to run a football club. They're intelligent people. I'm not saying they're not intelligent, but they don't know.
People with MBAs. They're people with MBAs. They're just business people.
Could I just say? Could I just say a little bit about the pitch? Over the last few years, that's really, really saddened me. You know, when you've seen the state of the pitch, because I remember obviously back to like when we went on the pitch when we won a league in '68. I remember going on the pitch with my dad. You know, every year was like round Ray Crawford and everything, you know. And it didn't matter what time of the season it was. And I remember going on after Youth Cup finals, you know, have a little walk on the pitch, going like you used to at the end of the season. And when you walked on that pitch, I swear to God, it was just like walking on a beautiful carpet. And I remember George Best used to always say, in the close season, I remember reading his book, he used to always look at the fixture list to see when they were playing at Portman Road Man United, because he absolutely adored playing on that surface as much as he did at Wembley. And that surface was, I think Stanley Prendergast was a groundsman before Alan Ferguson. He was groundsman, I think it was Prendergast. But that pitch was always pristine, always. But this last few years, honestly, that's been a nightmare, really.
The first thing you see when you go up the steps, isn't it, guys? When you come into the stadium, you go through the turnstiles, and obviously you might go and get your pint. As you walk up them steps, you look out on the pitch, and you want it to look, like Colin said, like a carpet, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, that treatment that you're on about, Rich, is what all the Premier League boys have been using. You know, Man United, Man City's are all using that injection, fibre injection. That's a mixture of real grass and fibre injection, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Wembley have got that as well.
Yeah. I mean, how much?
You're investing long term there, aren't you, Mike? You're investing long term in this. But I know it's about $1 million, 1.3 million with the under-soil eating. You think that's quite a big outlay. But then if that's lasting for 15 years, they've dug it up. They've reseeded it again now. If you're not having to do that every season, obviously you'll have to do some maintenance on it, but it's saving you money in the long term.
And yeah, 1.3 when you think of it from that budget, because that 1.3 million, if I'm correct, it's nothing to do with, it's only the transfers and stuff like that that go towards financial fair play and all the rest of that shit, right? So whatever they want to do to the infrastructure, 1.3 million is neither here nor there. We get a good pitch. He's already talked about, what I liked is they talked about the stands, and they says you can't have the goal of, because we've always said, when we go back to the Premier League, the stands would either, the corners get filled in, or one of the stands will get extended or whatever, right? But he says you can't have that goal. You need to have the goal as in, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to build this over time. So he's already thinking about when we're in the Championship, we may be doing some bits with the stadium. All I want is contactless payment or debit card payment and phone signal, and I'll be happy.
Mike D says in the comments, Kally, that you're a grass expert anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rich. I'll tell you what, Rich, and lovely to hear people who are actually running our football club, who are actually looking ahead. For example, I agree with you what you said a little while ago, Rich, about right now let's go top end first division players, or maybe maybe slightly lower Championship players, and do that for now, and then get into the Championship, and then go, and then raise your bar in the Championship. Maybe bring in one or two lower Premiership players into, and I believe they're doing everything. Like I say, I'm underlining what I said earlier, but I believe they're doing everything right. And I'll tell you that.
I'll agree with Kally, Colin. It's like, not everyone we sign is going to be on that journey with us. Some players will sign. They'll only be good enough for this league. When we get up, they have to be replaced. But we want to be signing a few. It doesn't need to be an overhaul every season, does it? If we get some of them building blocks in now, like a Burns, like you said, Kally, Coventry after him. So obviously they think he can play in the Championship. So hopefully he goes with us. What he can do. Getting back to Ashton, I was speaking to Colin this morning. He's getting a bit of stick, Mike, about sort of from the Bristol City fans. But Colin went to Ashton Gate before I did, but I went there, I think, when Paul Gill was manager. The stand that we were in was like a cowshed behind the goal. You go to Ashton Gate now, fantastic stadium. They've got a fantastic training ground, so it's not just what you see on the pitch, it's everything around it as well. He's done a really good job there.
Well, not disrespect, but I mean, Bristol City are punching above their weight anyway.
Yeah.
If there's any Bristol City fans here, sorry, but I'm just I'm saying as I see it. I mean, what he's done for your club and the way he's sort of, helped turn things around, and the way that, your the players you've brought in and how well that you've done. I know you missed out on the Premier League and everything, but in all fairness, he took you as far as he possibly could with the investment that you had. Right now, he's got a club that's got money behind them, owners that know what they're doing, clearly, and he's just thinking, well, this is a step up. So, sorry, Bristol City fans, if you feel a little bit down, a little bit out. Reality is, we've got him here now. He's already made one decent signing for us. And how many more are we going to get? And I think we are a house. We are a structure where we've got to put in place a foundation of players to take us to league, to Championship, and possibly to the Premiership. But along that way, have what we call, like you say, your come-ins, and then they leave because they're not quite good enough for that next level. But we've still got to have a nucleus of a team
definitely
that will get us that, like we did when we in the 2000 playoff. The leading up to that, we had a nucleus, and there was one or two players kept coming in and out that didn't quite make the grade. We bought Marcus Stewart, and boom, we end up going up.
You look at Sheffield United, Mike. When they went up, they started in League One. Under Wilder, they had quite a few players who went League One, Championship, and they played in the Premier League. I know it went pear-shaped for them last year, but
Wolves did the same. As well.
There's players out there who they can play at a high level.
Connor Cody played in League One with Wolves, and now he's just in the England squad for Euro 2021. You never know. If only one fucking Chambers he could have been on that flight. He could have been in the
Chambers,
Euro squad.
Chambers as an England player.
It's only
Oh,
because
wash
you're
your
here,
mouth
mate.
outside.
On that note, Mike, we're going to have to let you go, but we love you lots, and we'll see you all soon.
Lovely meeting
Yeah.
you.
Good night, Mike. Take care. Love you, Mike.
Steve.
Good mate.
Cheers, mate.
I have
Right.
to wind him up about Chambers.
Of course. Right, should we bring in our next?
Here he is.
What have we got?
Hello.
BB. Have you changed the alarm?
No, I thought I'd leave it. I've got my beers.
Stephen, Alex Gilliard, still linked to town.
Nah. You know what? All these ones that are, I mentioned this today, all these ones that are advertising press are bunk. Charlie White, Alex Gilliard, all these, I'd say, are bunk. Most of it's probably agents. I like the one, that Scottish goalkeeper. I think it's hysterical. Oh, I'll wait till Celtic offer me. And if they offer, Celtic's going for the guy from Newcastle, for Christ's sake. Does he not read the papers? Newcastle want one of Celtic's players. He's not going to go to Celtic. They haven't even got a manager, for Christ's sake. So what are you waiting for?
I thought Bart was coming back. Agent Chambers said Bart was coming back, didn't he?
He was just put a little fishing rod out there, didn't he? He was at the training ground, and then everyone's like...
That was fucking brilliant. That was
Turned
brilliant.
off all these in the nose. I'm not into that anymore. Because I noticed this today. This popped up early on this morning, yeah? And it came first from a Wales website, yeah? And it popped up early on this morning. And you can see the difference. And I told this to Mark Heath. You can see the difference. It popped up this morning by 6 o'clock. Deal was done. Mark Ashton ain't pissing about. It's here. It's done. And this was like...
Stephen, I think some of that's because, sorry to interrupt, I think some of that's also the fact that over the last month, Mark Ashton's been working in the background as well, I think, with Paul Cook. So I think a lot of these deals have been there. And we said before, wait till 1st of June because Mark Ashton wants to be in that picture holding the shirt, and that's what he's done. This is the first signing off this new game changer era. And, this is a defining moment.
Why I think most of the ones that have been reported are bunk is because he come in and said, and the lad on his interview said, this deal's been bubbling for the surface, under the surface for a bit. And no one's heard nothing. Yeah, no speculation about this lad whatsoever. Little bits and pieces. Oh, he's good. I like him. But no in the nose or nothing. No media or nothing. And suddenly it pops up today and he's in. So how many more of those are around? Are we having the same with Evans at Wigan? Are we having the same with Callum Connolly? Are we having the same with other people? Well, the deal's practically done. They just need to push it over the line. And nothing's being reported because it's all done. And they're just waiting for it to sort it out. They'll just wait for Mark Ashton to come, who I think is absolutely fantastic. At the end of the day, Bristol City, they're going to be doing exactly like we were with what's her name? McCarthy. Be careful what you wish for, because this guy hasn't put a foot wrong. And the top and bottom of it is they're moaning about signings. But as he says to us, he's not identifying the targets. The manager identifies the targets. If the players don't work, it's on the manager. All he does is sign.
Yeah, I like that. He said something like, there won't be a player coming in that Paul Cook doesn't want. No. I like that. There's none of this you see it at other clubs, don't you? So you're spot on there, Stephen. I think you're spot on there.
Bristol fans have been saying, oh, we destroyed our community club and things like that. Bristol City have never been a community club. They're owned by this billionaire who just thinks it's a toy. Who never turns up. And I just noticed, that's why I said, I just noticed the difference. So it was announced this morning that someone was in, we were interested, and the deal was done virtually. I know the stuff was probably done already. The fact that, it's flagged up that he started liking Ipswich Town today, you know what I mean? Morsey's been liking Ipswich Town for 3 weeks. Does that mean we're talking to Morsey? So,
Steve, can I stop you a sec? I'll tell you what's coming out of Ashton Gate, Steve, is total sour grapes. Full stop. We all know that.
I think it's social media, guys. Look, we all know what it's. I know you're not on there, Colin, but we all know what it's like. It's so easy nowadays just to criticise everything. We've got another guest to bring in, Steve. So we might as well add another one to the team. So where are you, tree man? Come on in.
No.
Here he is.
Hi. How you doing?
Beards are getting better.
You were talking about who has the manliest beard. I thought I'd just come on and end this.
Do you know what? I'm not shaving now. I'm going to grow this.
Haircut as well. You had a haircut, man.
You mean
we did beard
Just want to come on. Great show again tonight, lads. So just want to say I'm really want to share my excitement for the beginning of the season. I love what I heard from Ashton. I listened to that interview and I smiled in probably the same way I smiled when I listened to the interview from the owners. There were the right things were said. There wasn't over promising, but it was realistic. I love what they said about giving the manager autonomy over who comes in and who goes. And it's so important in today's game, especially when there's millions of pounds to back it. You know, it's not always the manager's decision. I said this as we ended last season, and I'll say it again. I see a lot of criticism on the socials about not having, we need more players. It's only one player. Come on, that will come. But I still maintain we don't need a revolution. As terrible as we were last season, and it was as bad as we've ever seen our professional team play, we only need to win 3 or 4 more games and we're in the playoffs. And after that, we don't need to be 15 points clear at the top of the league in order to get promoted. We need to win a few more games and a few really well-placed players. Give me 3 really good players.
Look at Blackpool, Ben, last season. We beat them twice. We beat them in February. I think they were mid-table. Yeah, it's not how you start the season; it's how you end. And look how they ended. After they lost to us, I think they hardly lost the game. Look, the run they went on. So I don't want everyone to get carried away if we have a poor start. Say we haven't won in. So we won one in the first 5.
I'd rather we had a poor start because we always have a fucking great start and we tail off. I'd rather we had a poor start, found some form in November, and then just smacked on.
The only thing I worry about with the poor and you're quite right what you say there, Kally, because we always do it the opposite way around. We start off like a promotion team, we end up as a relegation team. The only thing I worried about is that Paul Cook cashed all those chips in last season. Now, if he gets 1 or 2, if he wins 1 or 2 out of the first 10 games, then I'm worried. Because I think they're going to be looking at Paul Cook thinking.
I know someone will be in meltdown. Gov will be trying to put the pieces of Paul Lambert close to back together out of that bin in the garden.
I think Cook has this whole season. I think Cook has the whole season, regardless.
I hope so.
Come on.
The people at listen. Listen, I thought that the people at the top are football fans and football people as well, right? They get it. Yeah. And it's very hard. You've got now people like Mike O'Leary, now Mark Ashton, people that know the English game as well. They know as well how hard it's going to be. If you lose a manager and you don't quickly appoint the right one, and there isn't a lot of candidates about, you can spiral, and that's another season gone.
I
think they give it him. It's a process. They're not. I don't think they're going to expect us to win 7-0 the first 10 games and carry on from there.
We have to do what we done last season plus 3 games. That's it. That's literally the standard. As poor as we were, this league is terrible, and it's not getting any better.
Did you see Sunday's show, Ben, with Jason DeVos? He said that.
Brilliant.
You can't. You need time. Managers need time, and you don't get any time though now, do you? In the game, I think he said said he done that. He went on that course with Howard Wilkinson. Howard Wilkinson told him, I think the life expectancy of a manager was about 8 months, and you think, what can you do in 8 months? It's the next game you have to win, don't you? You have to win that.
The scary thing that on that interview that Jason said was that if they get fired, they got a 50% chance of never being in the game again.
Of course. But so it's high rewards. There's not a lot of jobs about where you're getting 15 grand a week. So high risk, high reward. I don't mind that. That's good old fashioned market forces. But I'd rather have a job for 8 months at 15 grand a week than a job for 5 years at 450.
I'd like to mention something a bit more positive, than just keep saying that we're going to lose. Yeah, it's like it was mentioned before that this league's a lot stronger this season. I'll dispute that.
I dispute that.
I've been on a lot of the pods. I was on the Sheffield Wednesday one this month. They are a basket case. They haven't paid the wages again this month.
Yeah. Have they furloughed their players, Stephen? Have they furloughed some of their players?
No, the players refused. The players refused. He wanted to
furlough. The players refused to take it, but the staff
refused furlough. And at the end of this month, if they haven't been paid, the players can hand them notice and quit. That's how bad Sheffield Wednesday are.
We had the guy from Portsmouth on, Freddie, I think last year. He said they were losing about 750 grand a month. And you think it's scary.
I was reading today.
Can I just say? Talking about Sheffield Wednesday, I know they're a massive club, they've got a lovely, beautiful stadium, fantastic fan base, and everything what goes with it. But I'll tell you what, I've got a funny feeling I've got a real funny feeling that Sheffield Wednesday are going to find next season very, very stiff.
I think they've got a good manager, Colin. They've got a really good manager. Darren Moore, I really like him. He's
Wednesday fans are worried they'll fold because Chansiri wants to sell. He wants 50 million.
But someone will bail them out. The Sheffield Wednesday, it's a big city.
Who's going to pay 150 million for Sheffield Wednesday?
Who was going to pay 15-20 million for Ipswich Town?
Exactly.
It will happen. It will happen. Listen, all I'm saying is I ain't bothered about Sheffield Wednesday. All I'm saying is I ain't bothered about Sheffield Wednesday. Like if they fold, they fold or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
What I'm saying is that's why I don't think the league's going to be as difficult as what people think it will. You've got Portsmouth letting players go. You've got Wigan rebuilding. You've got all Sunderland's going after Dion Sanders. God knows why they're not going to get him, but spending all the
Will Keane, Kally, got a new contract at Wigan.
Will Keane
new contract.
Jesus. Wow.
See, I think Wigan and Bolton will be the dark horses next season. I think Wigan and Bolton.
Good shout on Bolton. Good shout on Bolton. Yeah.
Well, should we talk about the kits? Should we talk about the kit? Move it along.
I bought
this kit released today.
I pre-ordered it. 57 quid.
You can't put a player name on it.
I'm not.
I couldn't find number 4 Chambers, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm not buying it."
If we get anybody decent, I'll buy another one.
I like it.
It's a decent shirt.
Carry on, sorry.
No, you're right. Sorry. The only thing I was going to say, the only thing I'm not really keen on is that I'm not a fan of the round neck. I prefer more of like a V-neck sort of thing.
The badge needs a lining as well, Steve, with the
and that pinstripe is just very slightly out, isn't it?
Someone said it was the sizes or something, so that's supposed to get back.
I don't get the hype. It's a kit. It's Adidas. It's a copy and paste Adidas job. It was never going to be great. The exciting part, if you like, for the kit launch is the colour after away kit. That's
When's
always
that out, Kally? You know when that is out?
I think it'll probably be towards the end of the month.
That's the one I'm not worried about.
I like just a little sign of the times. I love the little video they released with Ed Sheeran today. As he done his little sit down and compared it to the kit. Just a little tiny touch right there. I love that. That's fantastic. It made me look at a kit reveal and smile rather than looking at my phone going, it's all right. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little touch. I like that. It was good.
If the away one's like the white one, from like the late 70s, 80s, the white with black pinstripes, I'd love that. I really would.
That's a great kit.
I reckon it.
I'd really go for.
I could be completely wrong, but I heard it might be like white and slightly like with red trimming and shit.
So, what about you, Colin? Should have kept the old school badge, mate.
Oh
no, I hate the old school badge. I hate that badge.
I've never been a great lover of the new badge. I love the badge we had on last season, the 1970s badge, the yellow one. I think it's just Ipswich Town. I used to even love the badge. What we used to call it the 3 drain pipes. The really old one, the 60s one. Which is on the obviously on the signpost and all that. The Ipswich crest. That was good. But no, the one with the yellow I used to like. How did I like the strip today? Yeah, I didn't hate it. Like we said earlier on, Rich looked a little bit like the one the other year.
1920. It's not a lot different than that.
When you see it a little bit closer,
it's this one. Ed Sheeran thing.
It's like what Kally says.
Even the pipe.
You can't do a lot, really, can you?
It's the same fucking.
It's a shame though, Kally. If you looked on Twitter, the guy who was doing all the kit concepts, he got some beautiful shirts, didn't he?
I felt sorry. I felt sorry because, not sorry, but those things are things of beauty. This is
put the expectation up, haven't they? And then it's like, oh fuck, we got this.
The exciting things will be next year when the deal ends and we go to potential new vendor. Like Wolves' deal ended with Adidas this year. They've gone. I'm forgetting the name of the manufacturer, but they've gone with like a kind of none of the big manufacturers.
I want to go Hummel.
Hummel are good, but there's another one.
Good kits.
Thing is, I want to be careful when we're changing it over because you can end up with something like what Coventry had many years ago, but then puppets up the road. You know what I mean? Some sort of thing that looks like a pair of pajamas. You know what I mean? And someone's gone, oh, it's artistic, it's fancy.
Cov's one was brilliant a couple of years ago. It was like a Tesco's. Sorry, it was like a Tesco's bag. So
look, we got Sheffield Wednesday this year with Ashton in the front of it. Come on.
Can I just? I did agree with Ben earlier about the little bit. By the way, hello Ben.
Hello, mate. When you're prepping your shed for our party, I'm well up for it. Weather's good.
You're going around for the Euros. You're going around for the first game. We're around the Goats. For the Croatia game.
I'm there.
Ben, you're more than welcome anytime. I've got to say, I did agree with Ben about a little thing, the little thing with Ed Sheeran. I thought that was a touch of class, Yep. And I think these guys are bringing a bit of David Sheepshanks about him, if you like. A touch of class. Sheep are always a class.
Here's a good question. Here's a good question. Do you feel, and that's a good point, Colin, it's little touches of class. Do you feel closer to your club now rather than 4 months ago?
Ben, I'm going to answer that in the best way possible. I cannot wait till next Monday when I buy my season ticket.
Ditto. I'm on the queue.
I cannot wait, Rich. I can't wait. And I haven't felt like that.
You won't be laying in bed like you've been doing this week, will you? You won't be having no lay-ins this week. You'll be straight at that ticket office, 9 o'clock. You'll be down there.
I'll see you down there, mate. I'll buy you a coffee.
No, yeah, cheers, Ben. But like I say, I've got to say, the club has been run so, in my opinion, has been run so awfully over the last few years. I haven't felt like I felt this last few weeks, or the last few weeks for a long, long while, and it's just a great feeling because I can remember when I used to feel up all the time. Never ever felt down about my club. I used to go and watch reserve games, combination games, youth games. I used to go and watch anything. I used to go and watch them when I used to go to reserves, go down Bury Town. I just couldn't. It's like a drug. I couldn't get enough of it.
Get you like a schoolboy again, Colin.
Oh, absolutely, Ben.
Like I said earlier,
Sorry, Steve?
We've now got the best setup, I think.
Yeah.
For 20 years?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Since we last got promoted, we've now got the best setup. And that can only take us better and better.
And to be honest with you, Steve, that actually does with me. Some people would never be able to understand this. Rich would, Kally would, all you people would. But do you know, I can remember, and I've got to say this, I can remember standing up the North Stand with my dear father, God rest his soul, hundreds and hundreds of games, and the entry of the Gladiators used to go up, the tune. Da, 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 da. And do you know what? That song, that tune, when it went up, every week made give you goosebumps. And some people couldn't understand that, but that's how I used to feel, And then people like Millsy come out and that, and you think, this is just
the last
someone
time
else,
goosebumps at Ipswich Town Stadium. When was the last time you felt that? Probably when Camus Briskins.
When the fixtures come out, hopefully we can. Obviously, look, fans are going back to games. It'd be great to get like a Sunderland, a Wednesday, first game of the season, get 25,000 down there, sun shining,
There's a
free lines. Free lines will all be there. And because obviously we haven't been. When was it? March last year. I went Coventry. Was the last game, and you think I cannot wait to get back to Portman Road. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Amen.
Ben, coming back to what you're saying, that question: when's the last time I was pumped? That pumped at being at Portman Road. Just thinking about that, genuinely, in terms of pump, like I cannot wait. I'm excited. Like let's fucking have it.
Have your breakfast. Get up.
West Ham in the playoffs. That's how long ago.
Jesus Christ! You've done 20 years, man.
Well,
the Norwich playoff game. I think the Norwich playoff game was
okay. Well,
we knew we weren't going to win that.
Yeah, that was. I was deflated. I was deflated after the first leg, to be honest, on that one.
Yeah, you knew it. You knew it. Yeah. The West Ham games are legendary. Our annual playoff.
Bentley scored. Fucking hell! But anyway.
Should we do a bit of Euros chat, Steve?
Yeah. Let's get some predictions for the Euros. We did a sweepstake at work today, and I got to choose last. But there's only 4 of us, so we get 6 teams each. So, which is quite substantial. But I've got bloody North Macedonia and all these teams. I think, well, that's my 5 are gone straight away. But yeah, let's get some predictions. So, who do we think is going to who's going to come out on top?
France.
I don't think France.
Yeah.
How do we think England are all? Look, obviously today Trent's been really
England are bottle
seeing-
jobs, mate. I'd love to see England win the trophy. I've never seen England lift the trophy.
Not a fucking
Right,
chance.
England, apart from when it comes to cricket, I support England, right? But to be fair, if India are in the World Cup, we're saying World Cup, but if India
Who's
were
sporting
playing,
this summer then? Who's sporting this summer when India are over it?
India, obviously.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking hell. Come on, mate. Come on, let's be India, mate. We'll have the toll out, we'll have the samosas, I'll be there with my India flag, everything, mate. But I'll wear an Ipswich top as well so you can see me.
I've got me English shirt, so I'll have to go for it.
No, but every tournament, like you always, come on, man, this could be it. But I think the golden generation with Seven and Beckham, that was a good chance. Then we had
a golden generation.
Well, it was a good generation.
It was golden in the newspapers. It was never golden.
Listen, when that tournament when Rooney was 18, that was our chance.
Yeah,
that
was 2004. Rooney was on fire. If he hadn't got injured,
Portugal.
Yeah,
I'll
if
be
he hadn't
honest,
got injured.
I think we've got a better side now than what we did then. I'm going to bet
There's
you
only one problem, Stephen. There's only one problem with England.
Did we look that good yesterday?
The manager. Southgate.
Gareth Southgate.
I'm not saying the manager's good. I'm on about squad depth. I think the squad depth is good. I still think Lingard.
What do you think? Okay, sorry.
I think Lingard more than Sterling. Just simple as that.
Do you think our squad depth's better than France's? Because I'll say no. France have got like 2 or 3 good players in every fucking position.
No, it's actually got to worry about.
Yeah, but there's 1 or 2. There's 1 or 2 players in France. You take them out, they will get what number. There are a lot of teams who would take France out with a couple of players out. They've not got the depth they think they have because they don't get injured that often. That's the point.
Okay. Well, listen. I'll go with France. Yeah. When France win, you need to jump on the show and eat a croissant or a frog's leg or something, right? Or some garlic or snail.
Right? And you have to surrender.
But I think Brexit's buggered that, so I'll
I said to Colin, I think it was last week. Defensively, I think it will let England down because you got people like Kyle Walker, good player, mistake in him. John Stones, good player, mistake. They've all got mistakes in him. This is why I want him to get as many attacking players on that pitch as he can. Grealish, if you watch Grealish last night, he's one of our best players. He won't start the tournament. You see, he won't play him. He'll play 3 at the back. Go on.
I was going to say, I think mentality is going to be a big thing as well because as much as we love all these young players coming through and it's brilliant and everything, this is a big stage, right? You need the right mentality. You just have to look at City and Chelsea the other week with Champions League final. You've got to have that strong mentality, and that's where a bit of experience.
Yeah, but
so apart from
Pep trying to be too clever, Kally.
Okay, but either way, you need an experience at a big tournament like that. Who there really has got that experience out of our top players? Your players like Kyle Walker have, but we're saying, okay, there's a mistake in him. Players like Pickford has, well, he's guaranteed a mistake as well.
Not for England. Not for England. He ain't let Southgate down.
He's pretty solid for England, to be fair.
That's why I pick him, Steve. I pick him all day long.
I'll tell you what, Kally. I thought, from a very average game last night, I thought Pickford was excellent last night, to be fair.
But isn't that the worry? Isn't that the worry, though? Pickford was, in an average game against Austria, our best player or one of the good players was our goalkeeper.
You can't read too much into the games. There's nothing riding on them. There's nothing riding on them games.
Starting lineups, mate. These players should be thinking, look, I need to put something in the manager's head. That's what it used to be before tournaments. Those friendlies was.
He'll know who he's 11 on. He should know by now, shouldn't he? He should know by now.
Who's his 11?
Oh, I've got mine down here. Do you want me to give you my 11?
What formation we're playing?
Well, I'm going 3-4-3, or you could go 5. Walker, Pickford in goal. Walker, Stones, Mings, because Maguire. This is another thing with England.
Sorry, Rich. Is this what you'd like to play, or what you think?
This is what I think. This is what I think he plays. Why do we always go into tournaments, Kally, with players injured? We've got Maguire injured. Jordan Henderson has not played a game since February. And I heard Southgate saying he's great round the group, blah, blah, blah. I don't want a fucking cheerleader. James Ward-Prowse played every single minute for the last 2 seasons. He should have picked him. I think he might be in anyway now Trent's out, because I don't think Lingard.
Is Trent actually out, though?
Yeah, he's out. He's torn his quad.
I think Ward-Prowse has got a wicked free kick on him as well.
Hang on, I'll just give me 11 and then we can talk. So,
yeah.
Pickford in goal. I've gone for a back three of Walker, Stones and Mings. I could have picked Cody, but I think Mings is probably in there. Reece James, right wing back. Chilwell, left wing back. Rice and Mount in the middle. And then I've gone Sancho, Kane and Foden up front.
Kane.
So you're not playing
Rich,
Maguire?
can I give you mine?
No.
Can I give you mine?
He's injured. He's injured. That's what I'm saying. For the first game, I don't think he'll make
For
it.
the first game.
Rich, I wrote one down myself. I went 3-4-3, and I went Pickford, Walker, Stones. If Maguire not fit, now I wouldn't pick Maguire, but I think he will. Cody.
Yeah,
Then I've gone James, Rice, Grealish, Saka, Foden, Kane, Mount. Have it. I think that's a good side. I was so impressed with that Saka last night.
Colin, I don't think he'll pick Foden and Grealish. I think he'll just pick one or the other.
Fair enough, mate.
I've heard Grealish has got there's 2 ahead of Grealish before he starts. There's at least 2 ahead of Grealish before he starts.
Nah, behave. Grealish is quality.
It doesn't matter with his quality. It's not what we think is quality. It's what he thinks is quality.
Well, Southgate, Grealish needs to start, and I think Grealish is that player that could make a difference for us.
You start Grealish instead of Foden then, Kally? You start Grealish instead of...
I would. He's stronger than Foden. I think. Listen, I'll give it Grealish. Plus, Grealish, I like the way he wears his socks. It's cool.
Did you see that picture? Did you see the picture on Twitter? There was a picture of Jack Grealish when he went off, Ben. There was Jack Grealish going off with his socks around his ankles, and you've got Ben White coming on. He's got the longest fucking socks in the world. They're over his knees. It's just hilarious. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
I wouldn't mind playing Grealish. The only thing that worries me is Premier League referees know what he is, know who he is. He spends most of the time on the bloody floor.
Yeah, but look at last night. He was getting kicked to pillar to post, Stephen. Come on.
Huh?
Great at buying free kicks around it. I think he's great at buying them free kicks.
He's a brilliant player. Listen, Grealish is going to be one of our stars in this.
How many times do people turn around and say he's bought that free kick? Foreign referees might look at it and say he's cheating. How many times is he going to get booked?
Nah, behave. Listen,
can I just say, in that Austria game last night, if that had been a Euros game, Austria would probably have finished with 9 men.
Oh, they would do it, yeah.
Some of them challenges last night would.
Yeah, but what about Mings in the box? Honestly. What about Mings in the box? You just body check the man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right, Kally. Yeah, you're right, man.
Who's you picking, Ben? Who's in your team, Ben?
England.
Yeah,
I don't support them. I have no idea. I didn't know any of them players were you mentioned apart from Kane and Grealish. I'm a Germany man.
Germany?
Yeah. Well, their families are German, so yeah, I'm a German.
We couldn't read them in the round of 16, couldn't we?
I know, and then you'll be put out quite easily.
See, the thing I think, Ben, everyone last Saturday, Timo Werner for Chelsea, I think he's a really good player, couldn't finish his dinner. You wait till he plays against England. You wait till he plays against England.
You got Werner, Müller, and Gnabry up front. I think this is a hell of an attack. I think you've got a great. The trouble is, I'm torn with it because obviously grew up with England, but my family's German. But I think England will do what they usually do, which they will win the first 2 games. They'll play against any team. It's like Ipswich. Any team with anything about them, they'll just shit house it and come out. And it's sad, really. But and it's sad actually that you said that entire team. And I'm just disconnected from it. You know, I didn't follow it like I did the Euros in 2004 or whenever. But for me, France and Germany, in my personal, I think will be in the final. Because France have got their depth. You look at the teams they play for; it's amazing. But for me, it's got to be Open zu Deutschland.
I'll go Belgium.
As a dark horse.
Nice. I'm just going to go with Germany. I think I'm going to go with Germany.
What are the odds on Belgium?
They'd be one of the favourites if you look at the players they've got. He's another one. I don't rate the manager. I don't rate Roberto Martinez. He's another one I don't really see. But I think that De Bruyne, is he going to be fit? I know he's injured and he's broke his eye socket. He'll probably pop on a mask. You got Lukaku, Tielemans, Hazard. They've got some good players. England.
That's a great team, actually. Isn't it?
England, they will probably flatter to deceive, and we'll go out, and it'll be
And you've got Harry Kane, who bulks at the big games. He doesn't play big games. Never has, never will.
Do you actually think that England's actually really bothered whether they go out or not? Because there's a lot of young lads in there, and they're just more worried about getting these experience into some people like Saka and people like that to get to the World Cup.
Oh, we've got the Euro betting. Can you see that?
Yeah, but is this England's? Is this England betting?
Yeah,
Are these English companies doing the placing of bets?
Probably.
German, Spain, Italians. No one's really talked about the Italians. They're what are they? 11-1.
Nah, they'll shit house it. Don't worry about them.
Well, I think England. They've got to use. I think there's only one game, Ben, that will be away from Wembley if they went the whole way. So I really think
they don't use home advantage.
Yeah, they have to use that home advantage, Steve. I agree with that.
Of course.
You know, because
it's the only game I think they might play in Rome. Other than that, you're going to have I think there's going to be 20,000 to start with. Could go up to 4. It depends, doesn't it? 21st of June. What Boris decides to do. It's not going to be. It's not going to be full, is it? We know.
No.
If you get 45,000 in,
there's no travel corridors, so there'll be no foreign fans. I don't know whether they can.
Well, unless they're domestic here. I mean, it depends who we bring.
Unless they live here, yeah, because no one can fly from Europe to it.
No, not at all. It's not certainly not if you're Portuguese after next Tuesday.
Unless they're quarantining for a month or something.
Yeah.
Portuguese can't now.
Yeah. Good point.
There won't be many foreign fans there if there's any.
It'll be a very strange Euros, I'll tell you that. It will be almost normal, but not quite. And we're not coming out of all restrictions lifted the 21st of June. But I think there'll be enough of what's left that they'll keep the corridors shut, and you won't have that wonderful, that sound in the stadium. It will just be a very, it'll be home advantage. I don't think it ever have meant more than this Euros. Home advantage is everything.
That's where I think we've got to really take, like you say, there's going to be no one from anywhere other countries there. We've got to really grab that chance. But
you might get 1,000, 2,000 people, domestic people living who actually can go and watch the game. But apart from that, you're absolutely right. It is home advantage.
It'll be like the Championship playoff, won't it? You know what I mean? It'll be like that sort of atmosphere. Nearly half full, but everybody will be cheering. Virtually everybody will be cheering.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, I like that.
Jacob Farrow, Wales are your underdogs. Give your head a wobble, mate, because I don't think they're going anywhere.
Wales San Marino B team, aren't they?
Should we wrap it up there, Steve?
Yeah, I was going to say, and with that, I think that's time at the bar.
Anyway, keep your eyes over social media because there is more reports of snow again.
What?
Really?
More reports of snow.
Oh, Rich, just